Hey folks, this is ioEther, and we're back with some more World of Tanks. So as you can see, this is Lurpy in his Chât T25, and we have a 25t, sorry. We haven't had one of these in a while, so I'm looking forward to this game. He's running an automatic fire extinguisher, so that should be fun to watch. Also, before we get started, this is Fisherman's Bay in a tier 10 game. I totally didn't forget that at all. He's running with Maximize Me in the WZ111 5A and Whiskey 1 in the Object 268 back there. And of course, if you want to support the channel, one of the best ways you can do so is by sharing this with your friends and clanmates, and that would help out significantly. Okay, so let's get on into this game. Did I forget anything else that I always do at the intros? I don't think so. Cool. So, this is a tier 10 French autoloader, and one of my favorite tanks in the game, by the way, because I didn't forget to say that at all. This is a facepalm kind of moment right now. I'll get myself straightened back up again soon. Maybe not. Okay, so we go ahead. We put a shot into the WZ111. For unfortunately, it looks like a low roll. Nope, that was exactly average. I always feel like this tank should do more than that, but it doesn't. And now with the Chât, you don't want to be firing shells unless you know you're going to be doing damage. This thing does not have enough shells for you to be firing and not doing damage. But he does a ton of damage, 1200 or so, to that IS-7, and then he backs himself back out there. Now it's going to be about 40 seconds reloading, and while he... 20 seconds, so he's got some crew skills and whatnot on this crew. That's good. So while this thing's reloading is utterly useless, except to move around or as a scout tank. That's why when you're playing an autoloader, you really have to plan your attacks so that when you finish a clip out, you have the ability to move around the map and appear somewhere differently. Nice job spotting that poor WZ. And I'm pretty sure we know who put that shell into him for 800 damage. But yeah, now that he's loaded again, it looks like he's moving back up into the same spot. I don't know if this is necessarily the best idea because he doesn't really have anyone to distract the enemies anymore. And so he's going to end up getting himself shot if he isn't really careful about that. Now, while there are other friendly tanks up in this area, then the enemies are more likely to be putting their guns in that direction than looking for a Chât on the flanks. But when there isn't any friendly tanks in that area, then of course they're going to be looking to point their guns at the Chât on the flanks. Nice shot into the back of the T62. Looks like he's not going to be able to take it out. Does some damage to Type 5 Heavy. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do any to the first Type 5 and hits the IS-7, who's been harassing all game. That was a good run of damage there. Looks like he's not going to get one on the Yagzilla, though he really doesn't want to be able to shoot the front of the Yagzilla, because that would mean the front of the Yagzilla would be able to shoot at him, which would be bad. Nobody wants the front of a Yagzilla pointed at them. Now, without expending his entire clip, he's reloading. That means at some point, if he runs completely out of ammo, he's going to have to spend like 30 seconds reloading for one shell, which is going to suck. But overall, that was a good reload in my opinion. He didn't have many other targets, and he definitely didn't have any that were really on the ball for without getting too aggressive. If he got too aggressive at that point in time, he was just going to end up losing health for no good reason. Gets himself lit here, though. He is more or less in front of that Yagzilla, and he's definitely in front of the Moss, who misses him. Yagzilla, I don't know what these two are doing, but I think, yep, Grill's going to walk in front of his gun, though he turns his gun in time to actually shoot the 113 instead. Don't shoot the upper glacis though. You'll just bounce, and it will all be for naught as he gets himself relit again. He's got to stop poking out from beyond those bushes. He'll keep getting lit every time he does so. And there's an AMX-50B here just waiting to get shot. He's unloading his magazine into it now. He does a good about 1200 damage to it, and it dies from a lack of health, which is good. However, our team is not really winning so much as just holding on right now. We do have a Sheridan in a suicidal position way back here, and Maximize is doing it, or sorry, that's Whiskey 1 back there in the object 268, hoping that they're going to come across there. Meanwhile, Herpy is sitting in these bushes, and he's just spotting right now. As much as anything else, he's spotting, and he's waiting for his guns to reload so he can fire into the side of his moss. And one shell, two shell. These are heat shells, by the way, so that's why they're going through so well. But he's got to be careful where he aims. He's got to hit armor without tracks in it, and armor that is flat. His last shell goes into because of the fact that heat doesn't. Oh no, wait, those were APCR. These are heat shells. Oh. Sorry. So yes, he could have fired through tracks with those shells. Now he's only got 11 shells left in the tank. This is not great. There's still a lot of enemy health that needs to get taken down. That grill is definitely one of them. Whiskey 1 has moved up. He's got to be really careful because of the fact that the grill is on its flank. He is tunnel visioning in on this Type 5 Heavy, and he really needs to take that grill out first. But he's not going to. He's instead coming in. The Type 5 is fired. He's going to pull up right beside it and just put heat shells through the side of this thing. And every single shell is going to go through, assuming he doesn't put one at too steep an angle. And he's got to remember there's still a grill behind him. And he does put every single shell through. And then, wow, somehow neither of those two shells from the... Oh, I'm sorry, the grill died. My bad, didn't notice that. Neither of the two shells from the Type 5 Heavies penned him, which is a miracle, by the way. As he's reloading his last full clip, he's going to have problems. Now, again, there isn't a lot of enemies left, thankfully. There is a ton of health on them, but we have a distinct advantage by this point in time. About 5 tanks, well, more than that now. And so, as he's just going to be able to come in here, when he watches the Type 5 Heavy fire, he's just going to be able to come in, pull up right beside him, and unload into him as he goes ahead and starts unloading. So this is a victory, but this is stupidity. If you're going to unload into a Type 5 Heavy in something that explodes as well as the Batchat does, don't do it from this far away. Especially if you're firing heat and you can go through anywhere. Yes, you can go through his side easily, but you can go through any part of his tank with this heat. Maybe not the front so easily, but any other part. Side of his turret, back of his turret. Any of this up here, superstructure, he's fine to go through all that. He could have just tucked himself in against this wall, would not have been able to get hit. He might have got squeezed a little bit, but oh well, he would have been alive. And just continually pumped rounds through the Type 5 Heavy until it died. But no, instead he chooses to be back here. And the Type 5, instead of shooting at any of these guys, because, well, other than Maximize, who was on the wrong side of his gun, by the way, these guys aren't a one-shot. The Batchat is definitely a one-shot, assuming he pens. And considering he'd already shot at Lurpy and didn't pen, what was Lurpy thinking he wasn't going to try and fire on him? Of course you take that shot on a Batchat. Good lord, Lurpy, what was going through your mind? Oh, this could have been like the best game of your life had you lived But no, you managed to get yourself killed doing dumb. But that all aside, this was an awesome game. Up until 5 seconds before the end, this was the best game I have seen in a bat chat in a very long time, and it is an absolute joy to watch this game. Thank you, RP, for this. Master class, second class. That is because you died. Not guaranteeing this would have been first class had you lived, but it's much more likely it would have been first class had you lived. Perfect and Bruiser, of course, gets also nice snags and Confederate. And a high caliber, yeah, considering he was like 4,000 damage above the next highest damage, yeah, Confederate is definitely something he gets there. The fact that our TVP in 113 managed to do absolutely nothing is, well, not forgotten at all. And then, of course, props to the rest of the platoon who did actual work in that game. Nobody got carried out of that platoon. They all did work, though Lurpy, with the bonehead move at the end there, managed to land 4 shells that didn't pen, and he only missed 1 shell all game. That is pretty awesome. Well played. The fact is, one of those shells was fired on the side of the Type 5 Heavy and somehow bounced. As that should have gone through every single time without a doubt, but apparently not today. And because of the fact that he fired every shell, he loses money. Now, it is to be said that half of this didn't need to happen. If he hadn't got himself killed for no reason, he would have made a lot more cash on this game. And overall, it would have worked out in his favor. But either way, this was a great game, and I am truly had a lot of fun watching this. I'm thankful that Lurpy sent it in. So thank you all for watching. Please, again, if you want to support the channel, one of the best ways you guys can do so is by sharing this with your friends and platoon mates and clan mates. Nobody has got to see this ending coming. I didn't even see this ending coming. I mean, I knew that he died in advance because I had looked at the at this already, but I thought maybe he was killed by friendly fire, because that happens every once in a while in platoons. But no, it was due to not being bright. Oh well. Sitting in front of a Type 5's gun will get you shot. Lurpy has confirmed. We all now know. Thank you all for watching. Have a great night. This is ioEther out.